All right, so check this out right here. This is all sinusoidal, okay? Sinusoidal. It's a hard word to say, for me at least. I don't know. All right, so all of them are either sine or cosine shape. We model them using cosine. All right, so every single thing on this worksheet, every single function, we are going to write in terms of cosine. Now, there are infinitely many number of equations that you can write here because cosine starts up, right? Not at the center line. It starts up one or down one if it's vertical shift. So what if I started here? Or what if I started here? That gives me two different equations, but generally we start like somewhat near the origin. So, you know, I might have something on my answer key, and then Angela, you have something different, but I check it and it's still the same as long as it has everything else. The only thing that changes, everything will be the same in the function except the phase shift. It just meant you started to the right and I started more to the left. Does that make sense? Yes? Okay. All right, so knowing that we're starting up at cosine, what's my period? Pi to what? 5 pi, right? This is the shape right here. So this is the length of my period. So 1 to 5 is 4, right? But we're writing the function, so we need to have b. How do I solve for b? So my period equals what? 2 pi, well, no, 2 pi over b, right? And then we solve for b. So we multiply both sides by b. They cancel, and then we divide by 4 pi. So b equals what? 2 pi divided by 4 pi.
2 pi,
1 half. Okay? So I have my amplitude, I have my center line, and I have my b value. So now I can write my equation. So what is my equation? What goes first? 3. Cosine, right? What goes next? 1 half, that's my b value. And then I do my phase shift, my left and right. So knowing that I started here, what did we do?
Shifted right.
Okay, so exactly. So this is where cosine would be before left or right shift. If we shifted right, how do I write that though? T minus pi, very good, because it's the opposite. All right, and then what? Do I have a vertical shift? Yeah, because that's my center line. And that's the equation.
All right.
Make sense? All right, the next one. All right, what do you want to start with?
5.
5.
Wait, what?
Number 2?
Is
Start
this
with amplitude.
opinion based?
No, what do you start with when we're figuring this out?
What?
The amplitude. All right. My amplitude
It's
is
only one.
my max minus my min. What's my max?
0.
0 minus my min.
-2.
Over 2. So what's my amplitude? 1. All right, so what's my center line?
Center line, -1.
-1. And then my period. All right, first we have to establish what that is. So, knowing it's cosine, where do you want to start the beginning of the curve?
-1. 0,
Here? Well, it's not -1. It's technically negative pi over 4. Okay, so good. Cosine starts up here, and we go all the way, so here, all the way to right here. All right, so if I'm counting by pi's over 4, how many do I have? Pi, very good. All right, so that's my period, which equals 2 pi over b. Multiply both sides by b, that comes up here. And then we divide by pi.
Whoa, wait. What did you just erase?
B equals 2. Well, if you multiply the denominator and numerator by b, they cancel out.
Okay.
All right, so I have an amplitude of 1, center line at -1, and a period of 2. So I have y equals what?
Cosine?
1, right? But we don't need to write 1. Cosine of, what comes next?
Wait, doesn't it have to
2
reflect
2 pi
Not if we started up here. Did you start yours down here?
2
it?
We'll hit that one in a second. So up here, so yep, my b value 2, so I use that, times t what? Alright, how did it shift?
left.
It went left,
1 or
no,
Or 4 pi.
left pi over 4, so we have to go right pi over 4, right? Or plus pi over 4.
I missed a couple days. A little shaky.
And then my center line is at -1, so we went down 1. So this function right here represents starting at this point. Now if we started here, could I have the same cosine function? Yeah. What's the difference between the one in orange and the first one we did?
It's going to be minus pi over 4
Well,
in the equation.
it starts
Yeah,
down first, so it's
yeah.
reflected. So we have y equals negative cosine 2 t. Now this one is minus pi
Yeah.
over 4 minus 1 because we went to the right. So now it's minus instead of starting back here and saying, okay, if we start at 0, I went left 1, so it's positive. If I start at 0, I went right 1, so now it's negative. So notice how these both would work. If you gave me them on a quiz, a test, or whatever, they both would work. But notice how one's reflective, one's not, but the b value is the same, my shift down is the same, and then my phase shift is the only thing that's different. And like I said, that's the only thing that's going to be different. With cosine, though, the negative in front could also be different. Questions so far? Okay. All right, can I erase this to go on to 4? Or 3 and 4?
Oh, that's the listener.
Okay, so what function's this?
Cotangent.
Okay, well, it could be either. Okay, why'd you say negative tangent? Yeah, because it's decreasing. Remember, tangent always increases, but if it's negative, it decreases, or if it's cotangent, it decreases. So the only thing you need to know when you have tangent or cotangent is your period. So we're going from here to here. This is the period of a tangent or cotangent, asymptote to asymptote. So if this is pi over 2, which value is this?
3 pi over 4.
This one's 3 pi over 4, and this one's negative pi over 4.
So that'd be pi.
All right, so what's my period?
Pi.
Exactly. So
So it's a really good one.
all right, so my period is pi. So
Right.
what's my b value then? What's my b value? 1. Okay. So what do you want to do first, cotangent or tangent? Cotangent? Okay. So this is cotangent. Nothing else happened to it, so we have y equals cotangent of 1. And then how did I shift?
Plus pi over 4.
We went left pi over 4, so I'm going to write that as t plus pi over 4 because it's always the opposite for the phase shift. Okay, and that's it. Or we could say y equals negative tangent. 1 is still the same, but what's my shift here? So tangent usually goes through the origin, right? So if I went right pi over 4, I write t minus pi over 4. And either of those are acceptable. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
Wait, doesn't cotangent usually start at 0, 0? Like the middle point? You know what I'm saying?
Does
Yeah.
well, so cotangent, okay, if we shifted to the left. So the asymptote's usually at 0, 0. So this says we're shifting left, so now it's here.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Tangent usually goes through 0, 0.